In the small coastal town of Cedarbrook, the nights were usually quiet, with only the sound of the waves crashing against the shore and the occasional hoot of an owl. But at exactly 3:17 a.m. every night, something inexplicable happened. A driverless car would roll into the local police station's parking lot. This peculiar event had become a ritual, and the entire town was abuzz with speculation. The car was always a sleek black sedan, spotless and pristine, with a single red rose lying on the back seat. Despite the thorough investigations, no fingerprints or DNA evidence had ever been found. The only clue was the rose, a symbol that seemed to mock the detectives. Detective Mira Frost, a determined and sharp-minded investigator, had been assigned the case. She stood in the dimly lit parking lot, watching as the car once again made its eerie appearance. The digital clocks in the station flickered to 3:17, and a faint melody, haunting and melancholic, filled the air. "Here we go again," Sheriff Hank Caldwell muttered, his face etched with frustration. "Any luck with the rose this time?" Mira shook her head. "Nothing. It's like the car just materializes out of thin air." As Mira delved deeper into the case, she discovered a chilling connection. 3:17 a.m. was the exact time of death for Olivia Pierce, a young woman who had disappeared 20 years ago. Her case had never been solved, and the lead investigator at the time, Victor Blackwood, had abruptly retired shortly after. Now he was the town's reclusive mayor, rarely seen and even more rarely heard from. The discovery was too significant to ignore. Mira decided to visit Mayor Blackwood, hoping he could shed some light on the mystery. She drove through the winding streets of Cedarbrook, the town asleep under a blanket of stars. Blackwood's mansion loomed ahead, a relic from a bygone era. The door creaked open, and the mayor himself appeared, a ghost of the man he once was. His eyes were weary, shadows of past torments lingering within them. "Detective Frost," he greeted her with a raspy voice. "What brings you here at this hour?" "Mayor Blackwood, I need to talk to you about Olivia Pierce," Mira said, stepping into the dimly lit foyer. Blackwood's expression tightened. "That case is long closed. There's nothing more to say." "But there is," Mira insisted. "The car, the rose, the time, it's all connected to her. I need your help to understand why." Reluctantly, Blackwood agreed to help. They sat in his study, the walls lined with old books and framed photographs. As he spoke, Mira could sense the weight of his words. "Olivia was more than just a case to me," Blackwood confessed. "She was special. Her disappearance, her death, broke something inside me. I couldn't bear to continue as a detective." Mira listened intently, piecing together the fragments of the past. She learned that Olivia had been a bright, vivacious young woman with a promising future. Her disappearance had shattered the town, leaving a void that had never been filled. With Blackwood's reluctant cooperation, Mira revisited the evidence, searching for anything that had been overlooked. She enlisted the help of Dr. Samantha Chen, the town's medical examiner, and Lucas Reeves, a local mechanic, who had become fascinated with the mysterious car. "There's something strange about the car's electronics," Lucas said, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. "It's like it's been tampered with, but there's no sign of forced entry." As the investigation progressed, Mira found herself drawn to Evelyn Marsh, the elderly librarian who seemed to know more than she let on. Evelyn had been a close friend of Olivia's family, and had always been a fixture in the town's fabric. "Olivia was special," Evelyn said softly, her fingers tracing the edges of an old photograph. "She had a gift, a way of seeing the world that others couldn't." "What kind of gift?" Mira asked, intrigued. Evelyn hesitated, her eyes clouding with memories. She was sensitive to things, to people. She could sense emotions, see glimpses of the past. Some called it a blessing, others, a curse. Mira's mind raced with possibilities. Could Olivia's gift have something to do with the car and the rose? She needed more information, and Evelyn was the key. As Mira delved deeper into Olivia's life, she uncovered a web of secrets and supernatural occurrences. Locals reported hearing the faint melody just before the car appeared, but no one could identify the song. The clock's flickering to 3:17 a.m. added another layer of mystery, suggesting a connection to something beyond the physical world. Mira decided to explore this angle further, enlisting the help of Gabriel Torres, a new resident in town with a suspicious interest in the case. Gabriel claimed to have knowledge of paranormal phenomena and offered his assistance. "This isn't just a simple case of a missing person," Gabriel said, his voice low and serious. "There's something more at play here, something otherworldly." Together they delved into old town records, uncovering stories of strange occurrences and unexplained events that seemed to be connected to Olivia's disappearance. The deeper they dug, the more Mira felt the lines between reality and the supernatural beginning to blur. As the investigation continued, Mira's own past began to intertwine with the case. She discovered that her father, who had died when she was young, had been one of the officers working on Olivia's case. The realization hit her like a tidal wave, bringing back memories she had long buried. Driven by a need to understand her father's role and the connection to Olivia, Mira poured herself into the investigation. She uncovered letters and photographs that hinted at a deeper bond between her father and Olivia's family. The revelations were both shocking and enlightening. Mira realized that her father had been close friends with Olivia's parents, and his own untimely death had been shrouded in mystery. It was a connection that added a personal stake to her pursuit of the truth. Meanwhile, Mira's teenage daughter, Zoe Sullivan, had taken a keen interest in the case. Smart and resourceful, Zoe started her own investigation, digging into old newspapers and talking to locals. She was determined to help her mother, even if it meant uncovering painful truths. One evening, Zoe stumbled upon an old journal in the attic, hidden among her grandfather's belongings. The journal contained detailed notes about Olivia's case, along with cryptic messages and sketches that seemed to point to a hidden location. Excited by her discovery, Zoe showed the journal to her mother. Together they deciphered the clues, leading them to an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. The house stood silent and foreboding, its windows boarded up and its walls covered in ivy. It had been abandoned for years, but something about it felt significant. Mira and Zoe entered cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Inside, they found remnants of the past, old furniture, photographs, and personal belongings that had been left behind. It was as if time had stood still. As they explored further, they discovered a hidden room filled with mementos of Olivia's life. Among the items was a music box, which played the haunting melody that had been heard before the car's arrival. The tune sent shivers down Mira's spine, and she realized they were getting closer to the truth. Armed with new evidence, Mira confronted Mayor Blackwood once again. This time, she brought Evelyn Marsh and Dr. Samantha Chen with her, hoping their combined knowledge would help unravel the mystery. "Victor, we know you care deeply for Olivia," Evelyn began gently. "But we need to understand what happened." Blackwood's facade crumbled, and he finally opened up about the events of that fateful night. He revealed that Olivia had confided in him about her fears and her gift, and he had promised to protect her. But something had gone terribly wrong. There was a man, Blackwood said, his voice trembling. He was obsessed with Olivia, convinced she held the key to unlocking some ancient power. I tried to stop him, but I was too late. With Blackwood's confession, Mira pieced together the final puzzle. The man who had been obsessed with Olivia was Gabriel Torres, the new resident who had been helping with the investigation. His interest in the case had been far from innocent. Gabriel believed that Olivia's gift could be harnessed to connect with the supernatural realm, and he had been trying to recreate the circumstances of her death to unlock that power. The car, the rose, the melody, all were part of his twisted ritual. Mira confronted Gabriel, who denied nothing. "You don't understand," he said with a manic gleam in his eyes. "Olivia's spirit is still here. She wants to be free, and I can help her." The confrontation led to a dramatic showdown at the police station, with Gabriel trying to summon Olivia's spirit one last time. As the clocks flickered to 3:17 a.m. and the haunting melody filled the air, Mira and her team intervened. In the chaos that ensued, Gabriel was apprehended, but not before a ghostly figure appeared in the car's back seat. It was Olivia, her expression serene and otherworldly. She looked at Mira with eyes full of gratitude before fading away, the rose disappearing with her. With Gabriel behind bars and the truth finally revealed, the town of Cedarbrook began to heal. Mira found solace in knowing that she had honored her father's legacy by solving the case that had haunted him. Olivia's younger sister, Iris Pierce, returned to town to pay her respects and thank Mira for her relentless pursuit of the truth. The two women formed a bond, united by their shared loss and the closure they had finally achieved. Evelyn Marsh, with her vast knowledge and wisdom, helped the town understand the importance of remembering the past while moving forward. The haunting melody and the flickering clocks ceased, leaving Cedarbrook in peace. Life in Cedarbrook slowly returned to normal. The driverless car no longer appeared, and the mystery that had gripped the town for so long was finally laid to rest. Mira continued her work as a detective, but with a newfound sense of purpose and clarity. Zoe, inspired by her mother's courage and determination, pursued her own dreams of becoming a journalist, determined to uncover the truth and tell the stories that mattered. As for Mayor Blackwood, he stepped down from his position, choosing to live a quiet life away from the public eye. He remained a reclusive figure, but with a heart lighter than it had been in decades. Years passed, but the story of Olivia Pierce and the mysterious car remained a part of Cedarbrook's history. The townspeople remembered the events with a mixture of sadness and reverence, knowing that their lives had been touched by something extraordinary. Detective Mira Frost became a respected figure in the town, her name synonymous with justice and perseverance. Her work continued to inspire others, and her story was told and retold, a testament to the power of resilience and the enduring human spirit. Standing by the shore, Mira watched the waves crash against the rocks, the sun setting in a blaze of colors. She thought about the journeys she had taken, the secret uncovered, and the lives changed. Life in Cedarbrook was not perfect, but it was real, filled with moments of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. As she turned to walk back to her family, Mira knew that the past would always be a part of her, but it no longer defined her. She had found peace, and with it, the strength to face whatever the future held. The silent passenger had finally been laid to rest, and the town of Cedarbrook moved forward, forever changed, but stronger for it. Months after the mystery had been solved, Cedarbrook experienced a renaissance of sorts. The town, once overshadowed by the weight of unsolved mysteries and ghostly whispers, began to flourish anew. Tourists, drawn by the legends of Olivia Pierce and the haunted car, started to visit. The local economy benefited from the surge, and the town's charm was showcased to the world. Detective Mira Frost found herself busier than ever. Her reputation as a relentless and brilliant investigator spread beyond Cedarbrook, and she was often called to consult on complex cases in nearby towns. However, she always prioritized her home, where her roots and heart were deeply entrenched. The townspeople, united by their shared experience and the resolution of a haunting chapter in their history, grew closer. Community events thrived, and new traditions emerged. One such tradition was the annual Olivia Pierce Festival, where the town celebrated her memory with art exhibits, music, and storytelling. It was a way to honor the past while embracing the future. Evelyn Marsh, the elderly librarian, became a local celebrity of sorts. Her knowledge and insights were sought after by many, and she found joy in sharing Cedarbrook's rich history with curious visitors. The library, once a quiet sanctuary, became a bustling hub of activity. Zoe Sullivan, Mira's teenage daughter, thrived in her role as an investigative journalist. Her tenacity and keen eye for detail earned her accolades, and she became a respected voice in the journalistic community. Her articles often highlighted stories of resilience and hope, drawing inspiration from her mother's journey. Lucas Reeves, the local mechanic who had been fascinated by the mysterious car, opened a successful business specializing in vintage and unique vehicles. His reputation as a skilled and innovative mechanic brought in clients from far and wide. One crisp autumn evening, as Mira was closing her office, her phone rang. It was Sheriff Hank Caldwell, his voice tinged with a mix of urgency and disbelief. "Mira, you need to come to the station," Hank said. "There's something you need to see." Mira's heart raced as she made her way to the station. Upon arrival, she saw a familiar black sedan parked in the lot. The car, identical to the one that had haunted them, was back, but this time there was a note on the dashboard. With trembling hands, Mira opened the note. It was a letter from Gabriel Torres, written before his arrest. In it, he explained his obsession with Olivia's gift, and his belief that her spirit was connected to the town's fate. He also mentioned a hidden diary of Olivia's, which he claimed held the key to understanding everything. The letter led Mira and Zoe to a hidden compartment in the old house where Olivia had lived. There they found the diary, its pages filled with Olivia's thoughts, fears, and insights into her gift. The diary provided a deeper understanding of Olivia's experiences and her connection to the supernatural. Through the diary, Mira and Zoe discovered that Olivia had foreseen much of what had happened. She had left behind messages and clues, not just for herself, but for the town she loved. Her final entries spoke of peace and a desire for closure, both for her spirit and for Cedarbrook. With the diary in hand, Mira organized a town meeting to share Olivia's story and the newfound revelations. The community gathered in the town square, united by the need to honor and finally lay to rest the spirit that had lingered for so long. As Mira read Olivia's final words, a sense of peace washed over the crowd. They held a candlelight vigil, and for the first time in decades, Cedarbrook felt whole. The haunting melody that had once filled the air was replaced by a sense of tranquility and unity. The resolution of Olivia's story marked the beginning of a new era for Cedarbrook. The town, once shadowed by mystery, now stood as a beacon of resilience and community spirit. The lessons learned and the bonds formed during the investigation had a lasting impact on everyone involved. Mira Frost continued her work, driven by the understanding that every case, every mystery, had the potential to change lives. Her dedication to justice and truth became her legacy, inspiring future generations of detectives and investigators. Zoe Sullivan's career flourished, her work shedding light on untold stories and giving voice to those who had been silenced. Her journey mirrored her mother's in many ways, a testament to the strength and determination that ran in their family. Standing by the shore once more, Mira watched the waves, her heart filled with gratitude. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but it had also brought about healing and growth. Cedarbrook was no longer just a town. It was a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of community. As the sun set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Mira felt a sense of contentment. The past, with all its mysteries and heartaches, had finally been laid to rest. The future, bright and full of promise, awaited, and in that moment, she knew that whatever lay ahead, she was ready to face it, with the support of her family and her community. The silent passenger had found peace, and so had Cedarbrook. The town moved forward, its spirit unbroken, forever changed, but stronger for it.